As the film opens, we are treated to beautiful shots of the Dolomite mountain ranges while climbers scale the mountains. We are then introduced to two girls, Kelly and Sophie, who are preparing for their climb the next morning. They are friends on vacation and plan to conquer the mountain's sheer side, which reaches an impressive height of 10,000 feet. Kelly takes off her locket and reminisces about the time she and her late boyfriend climbed a mountain together. She carefully puts the locket away in her bag just as four rowdy men arrive outside in a jeep, creating a lot of noise that captures the girl's attention. One of the men, Josh, notices Sophie, and there seems to be mutual interest between them. Later, Josh knocks on their door, introduces himself, and attempts a cheesy pickup line on Sophie. He also invites both girls to a party with drinks and other activities. Sophie declines after Kelly expresses her disapproval. Meanwhile, Josh's friends discuss how they were told by the locals that they are the only ones planning to climb the mountain since it's already icy up there. They also mention how it's inappropriate for Josh to pursue other girls despite being engaged. Josh approaches them and starts making inappropriate jokes, which angers Taylor. It becomes evident that Josh is not a great friend and is quite aggressive. Inside the cabin, Sophie convinces Kelly to have a drink with the guys, promising that they will return on time. After some persuasion, Kelly reluctantly agrees. As the sun sets, we see the girls sitting around a fire with the guys. Sophie is talkative and enjoys teasing Josh and the others, while Kelly remains quiet, sipping her drink. Sophie playfully mocks Josh's large watch, and he proudly reveals that it's a Ritmo Mundo Quantum Elite with a personalized locator beacon. He claims that by pressing a button, a group of ninjas will come to his aid anywhere in the world. Sophie also reveals their plan to conquer the Antelope, to which Taylor mentions that they also intend to climb the same mountain. However, they are shocked when Sophie announces that they will be climbing the sheer side. Following this, Kelly excuses herself to go to bed, but Josh suddenly grabs her arm in an attempt to make her stay. Kelly strongly objects, and Josh lets go when the other guys intervene. After Kelly leaves, Josh suggests that they all climb the sheer side with the girls the next day. Sophie laughs in his face, stating that they won't have the courage to take on the challenge and would prefer an easier route to the summit. Back in her cabin, Kelly switches on a handheld camera and watches a video she made featuring her boyfriend, Luca. They discuss how Luca has climbed the Antelope 5 times, while Kelly is attempting it for the first time. A flashback reveals Kelly and Sophie meeting Luca in a rock climbing gym. Kelly sheds a few tears before falling asleep. Outside, Sophie is heavily intoxicated and making out with Josh. She gets up to relieve herself, and Josh's friends try to dissuade him, reminding him of his fiancée, Amy. However, Josh declares that he won't settle for just one woman for the next 40 years and follows Sophie. As Sophie prepares to return, Josh appears and tries to kiss her. Sophie firmly tells him to back off, but he becomes forceful, venting his anger from earlier mocking. Josh's friends hear Sophie's screams as he attempts to assault her, and Sophie manages to scratch his face. One of them intervenes, tackling Josh and pulling him away from Sophie. She runs away while the guys chase after her, trying to reason with her and dissuade her from pressing charges. The chase takes a dangerous turn when the guys catch up to Sophie, and Josh pushes her over the edge. Sophie falls, hitting a rock below and fracturing her spine, but she miraculously survives. Meanwhile, Kelly wakes up to the sounds outside and goes in search of Sophie. She discovers the abandoned campfire and realizes something is wrong. The guys have cornered a pleading Sophie, deliberating their next move. Ray considers calling 911, but Josh insists that they won't believe it was an accident due to the scratch on his face, bite marks on Zach's hand, and potential skin under Sophie's fingernails. Josh manipulates his friends, convincing them that they need to kill her to protect themselves. He grabs a large rock and smashes Sophie's head with it. Then, he hands the rock to Zach, urging him to strike the lifeless body. Josh even forcibly covers Ray's hands with Sophie's blood to implicate everyone equally in the crime. Afterwards, Josh suggests cleaning Sophie's nails and throwing her further down the mountain to make it appear as if she was intoxicated and attempting to climb. Unbeknownst to the perpetrators, Kelly had arrived, having sensed danger and turned on her handheld camera. Regrettably, she involuntarily lets out a scream, alerting the guys to her presence. Josh spots the camera and realizes they've been caught. The group of guys immediately starts chasing after Kelly. She runs and hides in the forest, while the guys split up to find her. Kelly then manages to make it back to her cabin, encountering Ray along the way, who doesn't stop her. She swiftly grabs her climbing gear and heads towards the face of Antelope, hoping to escape the inexperienced guys who are pursuing her. As she starts climbing, the guys catch up to her, and Taylor attempts to climb after her. Although he is slower than Kelly, he manages to catch up to her a few times, but she kicks him away. Eventually, he loses his footing and falls, breaking his leg. His tibia sticks out in a gruesome sight, and he screams in pain. Josh becomes furious and threatens Kelly, declaring that he's coming after her. The guys take their injured friend back to their cabin, where Josh gives him a handful of painkillers instead of seeking immediate medical attention. Josh instructs Taylor to call for help if they're not back in 24 hours. Josh's sole focus is retrieving the camera, which contains evidence that would expose them as murderers. He doesn't care about the harm caused in the process. As the three guys prepare to climb after Kelly, she opens her bag to assess the equipment she has, which is not much. Her ropes had fallen when Taylor tried to reach her, and she lacks the proper gear. However, Kelly is determined to fight for her life and refuses to give up. Meanwhile, the guys discover Kelly's phone lying on the ground, dropped when she began climbing. Josh keeps the phone and, after instructing his friend to continue preparing, rushes back to the cabin. Ray and Zach engage in a conversation, during which Ray expresses guilt over their actions. Zach reveals that they have been friends since the 3rd grade and once did something bad to a bully who harassed Ray. He tells Ray to remain silent and stick to the plan. When Josh doesn't return, Zach goes after him. He finds Josh coming out in a hurry and reprimands him for not waiting. They then return to resume their climb and pursue Kelly while she continues her ascent. Kelly remains focused and composed, using Luca's advice as motivation. Luca had likened climbing to chess, emphasizing the importance of mental focus over physical strength. Taking his words to heart, Kelly consults a map to plan her route before continuing. It becomes apparent that the men are not far behind, equipped with better supplies and gear. Meanwhile, Kelly encounters further obstacles, including a snake that slithers over her hand. She resists the urge to panic or move until the snake is gone. Due to the physical strain of climbing without gloves and the toll it takes on her hands, Kelly stops to drink water. Unfortunately, her bottle slips and falls below. Josh mocks her by drinking water from his own bottle, continuing to taunt her by sending himself friend requests from her social media account and posting false statuses using her phone. Kelly does her best to ignore him, powders her hands, and continues climbing. She discovers a rope that would help her reach a higher handhold, but is just out of her reach. Resourcefully, Kelly extracts a wire from the lining of her bag and uses it to extend her reach. Remembering Luca's teachings about the maneuver, she successfully executes it. Meanwhile, Josh and his friends take the easier route to climb higher and faster than Kelly, as she restricts herself to the sheer side of the mountain to avoid the men. Along her journey, Kelly stumbles upon an old tent and decides to take a break there. By this point, Josh and the others have climbed to a ledge directly above her, blocking her path unless she crosses their trail. Josh tosses her a rope and demands that she tie the camera to it, promising to let her go unharmed. Kelly, however, isn't fooled, and instead attaches a note to the rope, further infuriating Josh. With no other choice, Kelly is forced to spend the night in the tent she found. She discovers various items in the tent, including a sharp object that she pockets for potential use. Kelly does her best to patch up the tent and rests, while having some food. It is at this moment that we learn she had visited the same spot a year ago with her boyfriend to climb the mountain. However, unbeknownst to Kelly, her boyfriend had something else planned. He surprises her by proposing, but their joy is short-lived as he loses his footing and falls to his death, leaving Kelly devastated. Back in the present, as Kelly settles in for the night, Josh fills up a bag with stones and throws it down. Luckily, Kelly manages to keep herself safe. Later that night, Kelly is woken up by Zach, who rappels down to grab her. He gets a hold of her, and Kelly grabs the knife she had found earlier and stabs him. This sends them both out of the tent, and they both hold onto the rope for dear life. Ray and Josh pull them up, but when Josh reaches Kelly and takes her necklace, she extracts the knife from Zach and cuts the rope. Kelly is extremely lucky as she manages to grab onto the tent while falling down and perches on the mountain's face. Since the tent has fallen off the ledge, her only option now is to spend the night shivering in the cold. Kelly has managed to hold on to her bag, which contains the camera, but Josh has taken hold of her necklace with the ring, and from having her phone, he has figured everything out. Zach is now injured and wants Josh to call for help, something which Ray agrees to. To placate them, Josh agrees and goes away to make a call. That night, when the three of them are sleeping, Zach wakes up and tells Ray that he suspects Josh is lying. According to Zach, Josh hadn't made any calls, and he tells Ray that earlier when Josh had gone to the cabin to get his gloves, he had seen him coming out of the cabin looking a little panicked. Zach suspects that Josh killed Taylor while he was inside because he doesn't want Taylor to call for help. Therefore, Zach and Ray plan on triggering the locator beacon from Josh's watch, but fail as Josh is revealed to be awake. He threatens them again, and they all go back to sleep. Later on, Zach, who is injured in his leg, gets up to urinate, but then Josh hits him on the head and pushes him down the cliff. Kelly witnesses this. Later on, Ray wakes up from his sleep, and Josh lies to him about having sent Zach to find Taylor. Ray then convinces Josh to let him go speak with Kelly about the camera and her life, and Josh agrees. When Ray meets Kelly, he gives her his food and apologizes for what happened to her friend. Regarding the camera, he tells Kelly to give it to him, and he'll tell Josh that he pushed her off the mountain. But instead, Kelly tells Ray that Josh has killed Zach and saw his body fall from the ledge. Ray doesn't believe her, so Kelly tells Ray that Josh will kill them both no matter what happens. They then proceed as planned, with Ray taking the camera up to Josh. When Josh checks the camera, he finds that the memory card is missing. At the same time, Ray tries to call Taylor's phone, but to his surprise, he hears it ringing in Josh's pocket. Caught off guard, Josh and Ray proceed to attack one another. Unfortunately, Josh manages to overpower Ray before setting him on fire and finishing him off. Now that all of his friends are dead, it's Kelly's turn. Meanwhile, Kelly looks around and sees that her knife is not far away, so she moves carefully to retrieve it. Once she has the knife, the sight of a snake gives her an idea of what to do next. Josh gets ready to go down and attack Kelly himself, and when he confronts her, he demands to know the location of the memory card. Kelly tricks him by telling him that the card is in her bag, inside a crevice. Josh is prompted to put his hand inside, and as soon as he does, his hand is bitten by a snake. Enraged by Kelly's plan, he starts to attack her. Kelly does her best to fight him off, and in the end, she gains the upper hand. Because of this, Josh is forced to grab onto a rock, and he starts to lose strength. Kelly is able to retrieve her necklace from him, and also pushes the button on his watch to summon assistance right away. Finally, Josh loses his grip and falls to his death. Kelly is relieved that her nightmare is over, and that she's still holding her ring in her hand, along with all the evidence. In the end, we see Kelly continuing her climb up to the top. She completes the climb she had set out to do with Luca, and as the sun rises, we hear the sounds of a helicopter in the distance. This is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this.